Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves allocation of 1,810.56 crore rupees for Luhri Hydroelectric Project Stage 1. The project will be commissioned within a span of 62 months and will provide grid stability besides improving the power supply position in the state. Union Cabinet approves an MOU between India and Israel for healthcare and medicines. It facilitates exchange of pharmaceuticals, medical devices and physicians. There will also be increased cooperation on climate hazard assessment and control. The race between Donald Trump and Joe Biden is on a knife's edge with no clear winner as counting of votes remains on. The US is on course for its highest turnout in more than a century and a clear-cut result may not be known for days. Mumbai police arrest Arnav Goswami, editor-in-chief of Republic TV. Union Home Minister calls it an attack on the fourth pillar of democracy. Information and Broadcasting Minister says the arrest of the journalist brought back memories of the emergency. Editors Guild expresses shock and says state power should not be used against critical reporting by the media. Final round of campaigning for Bihar Assembly elections gathers momentum. Nitish Kumar holds rallies in Simanchal. In Champaran, BJP National President JP Nadda appeals to voters to retain the NDA in the state. Grand Alliance leader Tejaswi claims victory even before last phase. At a rally in Araria, Rahul Gandhi targets EVMs again. Dates for First District Development Council elections in Jammu and Kashmir announced. Polling to be held in 280 constituencies in 8 phases starting the 28th of this month. Refugees from Pakistan to exercise franchise for the first time in 70 years. Army Chief General Narvane arrives in Nepal on a 3-day visit. He'll meet Nepal's President and Prime Minister. The Army Chief will be awarded the honorary rank of a General of the Nepal Army. And India test fires enhanced version of Pinaka rocket system from Chandipur multi-barrel rocket launcher to replace Mark 1 Pinaka rockets developed by DRDO. Destroyer Ranbajay, frigate Shivalik, offshore patrol vessel Sukanya, fleet support ship Shakti and submarine Sindhuraj participate in Day 2 of Malabar exercises in the Bay of Bengal. Namaskar, you're with the latest here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy. Well, the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved allocation of 1,810.56 crore rupees for Luhri Hydroelectric Project Stage 1 and a green nod was given for total 4 MOUs. The Cabinet also discussed the fact that economy is coming back on fast track despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
With a view to promote clean energy in the country, in a landmark decision, the Union Cabinet has approved 1,810 crore rupees investment proposal of 210 megawatt Luhri Stage 1 hydropower project on river Satluj. The project is expected to be commissioned within a span of 62 months and when completed would lead to an annual reduction of 6.1 lakh tons of carbon dioxide from the environment.
इससे 2000 लोगों को प्रत्यक्ष और अप्रत्यक्ष रोजगार के अवसर मिलेंगे। हिमाचल को 1140 करोड़ रुपए की बिजली मुफ्त मिलेगी और जो प्रकल्प बाधित है उन लोगों को 10 साल के लिए हर एक परिवार को 100 यूनिट बिजली मुफ्त मिलेगी। तो ये सबके फायदेमंद एक नया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट आज मंजूर किया है।
The cabinet also discussed the economic situation and noted that the economy is coming back on track at a faster rate than expected as per data from the second quarter.
जीएसटी पिछले साल के अक्टूबर में जितना मिला था उससे ज्यादा 1,05,000 करोड़ रुपए अक्टूबर महीने में प्राप्त हुआ। एक तरह से सभी क्षेत्रों में एक सतत मांग का विकास सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इन डिमांड ये नजर आ रही है। जो इनपुट यूज करते हैं उत्पादन के लिए, उसकी खरीद भी बढ़ी है। यानी उत्पादन बढ़ने का प्लानिंग है और उत्पादन बढ़ रहा है, इसके लिए ज्यादा माल खरीद हो रही है, उसका इनपुट, ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
Union INB Minister Prakash Javadekar also said that farmers of Punjab had sold a record 158 lakh metric tons of paddy, which proved that they were happy. Javadekar further stressed on the benefits that farmers would get by selling produce at a higher MSP. The minister questioned the Punjab government over their support to commission agents rather than focusing on farmers' welfare.
इस साल सरकार ने ही खरीद किया, जो हर साल होगा। ये बताया है कि सरकार की खरीद जारी रहेगी। इस साल 158 लाख टन सरकार ने खरीद किया है धान, और किसानों ने दिया है, लाखों किसानों ने दे दिया है। उनका विश्वास है नए सिस्टम में। किसी ने ये नहीं कहा कि मंडी बंद हो गई, एमएसपी बंद हो गया। जो दुष्प्रचार हुआ वो गलत था, ये भी सच साबित हुआ है।
Along with this, the Cabinet has given its nod to total 4 MOUs. Cabinet has approved the Memorandum of Understanding between India and Israel on cooperation in the field of health and medicine and in the field of telecommunication ICTs with the United Kingdom. With inputs from Shailendra Mishra, Bureau Report, DD India.
So the Union Cabinet taking several steps for the benefit of the nation. Now the Maharashtra Police has arrested Arnab Goswami, Editor-in-Chief of Republic TV. Union Home Minister Amit Shah called it an attack on the fourth pillar of democracy. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that the arrest of the journalist brought back memories of the emergency. Editors Guild has expressed shock and said the state bar should not be used against critical reporting by the media.
Freedom of press and journalism as it is in severe threat in Maharashtra. On a 2-year-old case on the charges of abetment of suicide, Maharashtra Police early Wednesday arrested Republic TV Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami and 2 others. The case pertains to suicide of a 53-year-old interior designer and his mother in 2018.
Arnab Goswami was physically assaulted in his house by 2 police officers. His house was cordoned off for 3 hours. There are abrasions on his hand here, on his left hand. So he appeals to the citizens of India to support in this case.
Raigad Police has arrested Arnab under Section 305 of the IPC. The centre has sprung up with all its might to denounce the cowardly act by the state. Union INB Minister Prakash Javadekar in a tweet slammed Maharashtra Police's attack on press freedom. He tweeted, "We condemn the attack on press freedom in Maharashtra. This is not the way to treat the press. This reminds us of the emergency days when the press was treated like this."
मां बेटे का जो माफिया सरकार है, इसने केवल प्रेस के ऊपर आघात किया हो ऐसा नहीं। जब इनको फेवरेबल जजमेंट नहीं मिलता है तो ये चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया तक को नहीं छोड़ते हैं। तो ये केवल प्रेस का विषय नहीं है, यह विषय हम में से प्रत्येक नागरिक का है।
The Editors Guild has also lambasted the government for this act and registered strong protest. The National Journalist Association has also expressed anguish. Many dignitaries from the media have condemned the act.
ये एक तरीके से ईमानदार, अच्छी पत्रकारिता करने वाले लोगों को एक मैसेज देने की कोशिश है कि या तो आप हमारी बात मानिए, हमारे डिक्टेशन में रहिए, अन्यथा हम आपको ऐसा ही परेशान करेंगे। ये पूरे जर्नलिज्म के डेमोक्रेसी, पूरे जर्नलिज्म के लिए खतरा है।
Home Minister Amit Shah tweeted, "Congress and its allies have shamed democracy once again. Blatant misuse of state power against Republic TV and Arnab Goswami is an attack on individual freedom and the fourth pillar of democracy. It reminds us of the emergency. This attack on the free press must be and will be opposed." Slamming Maharashtra government, Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad also registered his deep outrage and anguish.
प्रेस की आजादी पर इतना बड़ा हमला हुआ है, देश के एक बड़े संपादक को गिरफ्तार कर लिया है सवाल पूछने के कारण, और सोनिया जी और राहुल गांधी दोनों खामोश हैं, चुप हैं। यही दिखाता है क्योंकि कितने दोहरे मानदंड हैं।
Invoking emergency, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar tweeted, "Shades of the emergency. The arrest of Arnab Goswami is an attack on the freedom of press. Those who really believe in this freedom must speak up." Shiv Sena has defended the government's decision.
पुलिस स्वतंत्र है, उनके पास अगर कोई जांच के लिए, एक्शन के लिए कोई एविडेंस है तो महाराष्ट्र की सरकार और यहाँ के राजनेता कभी भी पुलिस के कार्रवाई में हस्तक्षेप नहीं करते.
Support is pouring in from all sides. Bollywood actress Kangana Ranaut, in a video message, questioned the Mumbai police. The police action comes close on the heels of police launching probe in the TRP scam, where also Arnab has been put under investigation scanner. Launching an attack on a TV journalist for raising issues and asking questions cannot be justified on any flimsy grounds. As per suicide abetment case, why has the police woken up from slumber after 2 years is a question that only they can answer. With inputs from Shishir Shelar in Mumbai, Bureau Report, DD India.
Now, it's a day after in the United States of polling day, but we don't have a winner just yet. Polls have closed, counting of ballots is on, but the full picture is yet to emerge. And we at DD India have been bringing you a 360-degree comprehensive coverage of the US election results. Now, according to the latest results, Joe Biden has got 224 electoral votes with 50% of popular votes, and Trump with 213 electoral votes has got 48.3% of the popular vote. And if you look at the crucial states that are really going to determine the course of who gets to 271, really the halfway mark, above the halfway mark, it's Arizona, where right now things are in the favor of Joe Biden, 52% for him and 47% for Donald Trump. And if we move on further and look at the other states that are still hanging balance and could determine the course further on, Florida, of course, has gone more or less Trump's way, 51.2% there, against Joe Biden getting 47.8% of the vote there in that state. If you look at Georgia, again, right now it does seem to be favoring Trump at 50.5%, and for Biden it's 48.3%. If we move on further, if we go to Iowa, again it is favoring Trump. It's 52.7% against Biden's 45.4%. Remember, the count is still on. Michigan, again favoring Trump in terms of how things are shaping up, 51 against 47% for Biden. And if you look at Minnesota, again 45% here. The picture is a different one, 53% in the favor of Joe Biden and 45% for Trump. Nevada, again, things very delicately balanced there. It looks even here, but I believe that Joe Biden has a slight edge in Nevada. And if you look at North Carolina, there Trump has edged past Joe Biden, although the difference here is narrower compared to many other states. Again, if you look at Ohio, here the margin is fairly large and comprehensive. Don't think that can be countered or caught up with. 53.3 for Trump, 45.2 for Biden. If you look at Pennsylvania, it does seem that it's quite wide over here, the margin. Trump leading with 55.1% and 43.6% for Biden. But in Pennsylvania, the counting of a lot of votes is still on. It's going to take time, maybe up till Friday. In Texas, that is pretty much in Trump's bag, 52.3% of the votes there, 46.2% for Biden. Wisconsin, if you look at that, again, very, very close contest there in Wisconsin. Some networks have been calling Wisconsin, as we speak, in the favor of Joe Biden, but official projections are still to come in on that, although he does seem to have an edge over there. But be it posters or punters, they just didn't see this coming. Election night turned into dawn and beyond the next day on the US East Coast and now further on in the country as well towards the west. But a clear-cut outcome of the presidential mega battle between Donald Trump and Joe Biden is nowhere in sight. Projections remain too close to call, with key battleground states like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin far from delivering their verdict as millions of postal ballots remain to be counted. Biden has displayed a self-assured patience despite being down in key state contests, but Trump has declared himself winner, saying he'll go to the Supreme Court to stop the tabulation of yet-to-be counted votes. Here's more.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
I'm here to tell you tonight, we believe we're on track to win this election.
In the race to get 270 electoral votes, Biden is now projected to get 224. Trump stands at 213. Tight races in key battlegrounds of the Midwest and Rust Belt of Pennsylvania, Michigan and Wisconsin may take till Friday to deliver an outcome. The final result hinges on tens of millions of postal ballots yet to be counted. And while the Democrats are depending on them to pull Biden through, Trump has other ideas.
This is a major fraud in our nation. We want the law to be used in a proper manner. So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop. We don't want them to find any ballots at 4 o'clock in the morning and add them to the list, okay?
What grounds will the Trump camp use to question the legitimacy of the yet-to-be counted votes remains unclear. Biden's clear refrain was that he'll wait for the last vote to be counted.
We're going to have to be patient until the hard work of tallying the votes is finished. And it ain't over till every vote is counted, every ballot is counted. It's not my place or Donald Trump's place to declare who's won this election. That's the decision of the American people. But I'm optimistic about this outcome.
It also remains a toss-up when it comes to legislative control. All 435 seats in the US Congress went into concurrent polls along with a third of the 100 seats in the Senate. Senate Republicans and Democrats traded losses. While Republican Senator Cory Gardner was defeated in Colorado by former Governor John Hickenlooper, the win was offset by the loss of Democratic Senator Doug Jones in Alabama, as veteran Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn fended off Democratic challenges in South Carolina and Texas. Uncertainty about the outcome remains the only certainty, putting America on edge. Voters turned out in record-breaking numbers, expecting a clear outcome, and in its absence, restlessness and tension builds up even in the streets outside the White House. Newsnight Desk, DD India. And Philadelphia City Commissioner Al Schmidt called upon the voters to exercise patience with regard to results as the counting of postal ballots is underway. He further stressed that results will be declared as soon as the counting is over.
I know that's very frustrating. It's frustrating for you. It's frustrating for us. But if you're going to get it right and you're going to prevent problems which jeopardize voters' votes, it's more important that we do it right than meet artificial deadlines. We're pushing out the results as quickly as we can. We're not holding anything back. You know, if we say like 9 o'clock, we don't want to hold till 9 o'clock. We want you to know and everybody know as soon as we have more votes to report.
Back home, final round of campaigning for Bihar Assembly elections gathered momentum. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar held rallies in Simachal, whereas in Champaran, BJP National President JP Nadda appealed to voters to retain the NDA in the state. Grand Alliance leader Tejaswi Yadav claimed victory even before the last phase. At a rally in Araria, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi targeted EVMs once again.
After 2 rounds, the attention in the Bihar Assembly election has shifted to the remaining constituencies in the last phase. Incumbent Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, BJP President JP Nadda and UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath continue to hold the reins of the NDA's campaign in Bihar. Addressing rallies in Seemanchal area, Nitish Kumar brought to mention the chaos that ruled the area during the previous regimes. He also promised more power reforms in the area.
अभी तो आपको हर घर बिजली पहुंचाए हैं, अगली बार मौका दे दीजिएगा तो हर गांव में हम सोलर स्ट्रीट लाइट लगा देंगे, घर का बत्ती बुझाइएगा और रात भर गांव में उजाला ही उजाला रहेगा.
JP Nadda continued his tour of the state and urged the voters to vote the NDA back to power.
जंगल राज के युवराज विपक्ष के नेता थे, ये विधानसभा में एक दिन भी नहीं गए. विधानसभा, ये विधानसभा में विपक्ष का नेता गायब होना, ये व्यक्ति नहीं, ये बिहार की जनता के साथ धोखा है. इस बात को समझना चाहिए, इस बात को जानना चाहिए. इसलिए ऐसे लोगों को आराम दो और मेहनत करने वाले नीतीश बाबू को काम दो.
UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also addressed people in Bihar and he reminded the people of the scams that have been tagged with the Congress-led regimes.
याद करिए मई 2014 में जब इस देश की जनता जनार्दन ने मोदी जी के हाथों में देश की कमान सौंपी थी, उससे पहले देश की स्थिति क्या थी? कांग्रेस और राजद का रोज एक नया घोटाला सामने आता था. कभी स्पेक्ट्रम घोटाला, कभी कॉमनवेल्थ घोटाला, कभी खाद्यान्न घोटाला, कहीं पर कोयला घोटाला और घोटाले पे घोटाले, घोटाले पे घोटाले उनकी एक प्रवृत्ति बन चुकी थी.
Handling the entire mantle of the Grand Alliance on his young shoulders, RJD leader Tejaswi Yadav seems to be walking a difficult path. He has claimed that the party is set to win the state after 2 rounds of polls. He continues to target the incumbent chief minister while reiterating his mastercard of 1 million jobs in the state if voted to power.
दोनों चरण जो है हम लोग जीत गए हैं और आपकी इस मजबूत संकल्प ने ये साबित कर दिया है कि बिहार असल मुद्दों पर चुनाव लड़ सकता है.
Congress leader Rahul Gandhi also addressed rallies in the state and targeted the EVMs, alleging malfunctioning of the machines.
EVM उसका नाम ईवीएम नहीं है, उसका नाम MVM है, मतलब मोदी वोटिंग मशीन. मगर इस बार बिहार में युवाओं में गुस्सा है, युवाओं के दिल में गुस्सा है. तो चाहे वो ईवीएम हो, चाहे वो MVM हो, गठबंधन जीतने जा रहा है.
In the last phase, votes will be polled for 78 seats. They will go up for grabs in 15 districts of the state. Counting will be held on the 10th of November. Bureau Report, DD India.
And Union Home Minister Amit Shah has reached Kolkata on Wednesday night. In a tweet, Amit Shah wholeheartedly thanked the people of West Bengal and the BJP's Karkartas there in the state for such love, warmth and support. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair the virtual Global Investor Roundtable VGIR on Thursday. The VGIR is being organized by the Ministry of Finance, Government of India and a National Investment and Infrastructure Fund. It's an exclusive dialogue between leading global institutional investors, India business leaders and the highest decision makers from the Government of India and financial market regulators. Army Chief General M.M. Narvane is on a 3-day visit to Nepal. During his visit, which is on till the 6th of this month, he will be conferred with an honorary rank of General of the Nepali Army by the President of Nepal, Vidya Devi Bhandari. Apart from this, the Army Chief will meet Nepal Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli and his Nepali counterpart, Purnachandra Thapa. Also, General Narvane will distribute medical equipment and ventilators to 2 field hospitals of the Nepali Army for dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. And the first phase of the 24th edition of the Malabar Naval Exercise has been on in Visakhapatnam. Naval forces of India, United States, Japan and Australia are taking part in the exercise. is being conducted as a non-contact exercise at sea in view of COVID-19 pandemic. The operations will showcase synergy and coordination among the friendly navies. Scheduled to be held in 2 phases, Phase 1 of Malabar 20 will witness complex and advanced naval exercises. These include surface anti-submarine and anti-air warfare operations, cross-deck flying, seamanship evolutions and weapon firing exercises. Now, the second batch of Indian Air Force Rafale aircraft arrived in India at 8:14 p.m. on Wednesday. The Indian Air Force pilots brought home the second batch of 3 Rafale aircraft after flying non-stop from France in a ferry that lasted for over 8 hours. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh congratulated the Indian Air Force for successfully accomplishing a highly complex mission in a professional and safe manner. So those are the images of the Rafale aircraft that have arrived. Remember, a batch had arrived earlier. It's stationed in Ambala, and this will only add to the strength of the Indian Air Force even further at a critical time when we do have a certain situation that is on right now in Ladakh. Now, the enhanced version of the Pinaka rocket system developed by Defence Research and Development Organization, that's the DRDO, has been successfully flight tested from the integrated test range at Chandipur. A total of 6 rockets were launched in quick succession, and the tests meet complete mission objectives. Enhanced version of Pinaka rocket would replace the existing Pinaka Mk1 rockets, which are currently under production. And the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has constituted a committee to review guidelines on television rating agencies in India. Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati will be chairman of the committee. The committee will carry out an appraisal of the existing system, examine TRAI recommendations notified from time to time, overall industry scenario and addressing the needs of the stakeholders, and make recommendations for a robust, transparent and accountable rating system through changes, if any, in the existing guidelines. Now, in a landmark step, India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati entered into a memorandum of understanding with Bhaskaracharya National Institute of Space Applications and Geoinformatics, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology today. Under the ambit of this MOU, 51 DTH education TV channels shall be available as DD co-branded channels to all DD Free Dish viewers. This move aims to bring quality educational programs to every household, including those in rural and remote areas. The services will be available free of cost for all viewers 24/7, in line with the government's commitment towards skill development and providing quality education to the last person in the country. This government initiative will go a long way in achieving the government's goal of providing education to all.
Today's MOU basically brings these 50 channels within the umbrella of Prasar Bharati through a collaboration between Prasar Bharati and BIZAG. As a result of this collaboration, all of these channels will have the Doordarshan co-branding, and they will become a part officially of the DD Free Dish platform, and the Doordarshan authorized set-top boxes will have a menu option where you can browse and discover these channels, and we see this as a very important step, especially in this environment during COVID-19.
Really critical in the current environment, as critical as it is to mask up. Have a good night and stay safe.